Sidewheeler is a 5% steam beer that I designed based around my love of San Francisco and the beers I drank when I was over there back in 2014. The hops I've used, Northern Brewer and Cascade, give it a real piney and resinous character. Malts such as Light Munich and Light Crystal give it the distinctive amber colour and a nice biscuity base to it. And the yeast is a Californian ale yeast that gives it a nice clean finish that really leaves you wanting a bit more. You know, the best thing about this beer is that I'm on the label. I'm on one too! So we've got Just to Wet the Whistle, which is our 4.5% Golden Style beer. It's a sort of an ale lager hybrid, so all the malt and the hops are all sort of things you usually expect in a lager. The beer is lagered itself as well, but the yeast is an ale yeast, so you get this great combination of fruity esters from the yeast strain, but you also get everything you'd expect from a first quenching, easy drinking German style lager beer.
This is Charlie Don't Surf, our 4% session IPA. Some citra in the boil for a kind of citrusy aroma, funnily enough. And then 10 grams a litre Simcoe dry hop, which gives it nice kind of peach and mango aromas. It's a bit maltier than some of our other pale ales. It's got a lot of wheat in the grist, and it's crushable and delicious and refreshing is the idea. Is that good enough?
Yeah.
So this is Super Marination. It's the first red ale alphabet's brewed in quite a while now, sort of inspired by one of my first homebrew recipes. So it's got a heavy influence on the malt, so it's got dried fruit, raisin, red currant notes coming through, and then that's sort of balanced by the hop usage. So we've got Brewer's Gold in the boil and Willamette in the dry hop, which is sort of to give it an American sort of craft influence. And then you've got the British influence coming in from the yeast, so we've used a fairly standard English ale yeast strain, which gives it a nice ester character, sort of balances out with the hops.
So this is Treasure Valley. It's a 6.1% sour IPA, and it's one of the first kettle sours I made at Alphabet Brewing Company. I used to work at Jordan Brewing Company. It was just down the road. Well, they've moved now. And we specialised in sour beers, so this was kind of a test of the process on Alphabet's kit. George did most of the recipe for the actual grist and everything.
Yeah, so for the recipe we particularly had interest in using Kvike yeast in a sour beer. For this beer it's produced quite a nice pithy orange character, which pairs well with the hops. So for the hops we've used Citra, classically, and Idaho 7 and Eldorado, which has largely inspired the branding. So there's a particular region near Boise, Idaho, who essentially developed those two hops.
Where's Nigel? Nige? Has anyone seen Nige? So we couldn't find Nigel, but we did find me. So this is Making Pints for Nigel, which is our 4.3% best bitter. So we made it in the sort of Manchester style, which is very light compared to the bitters from the rest of the country. Nice and fruity, nice and hoppy, with a nice bit of bitterness as well. We decided to use London Ale Free, which is a yeast strain that's quite popular for making New England IPAs at the moment, but was originally a yeast strain from a Manchester, a very famous Manchester brewery, who made a very creamy bitter. Well, I made it, obviously, that is. So they don't make beer anymore, but I wanted to see what it would be like to make a beer as if they did still make that beer. So this is a modern interpretation of that famous creamy Manchester bitter. So you can see it's nice and pale, really easy drinking. It's got a little bit of oats in there, a little bit of amber malt, and it is just absolutely sinkable.
Alex, are you making this video or are you just having a beer? So Springsteen is our tropical IPA. It's 4.5% and it is fruited with mango, passion fruit, guava and pineapple, which is added during fermentation. We brewed it as a one-off special about 3 or 4 years ago, and it turned out it was more than just a pun because it sold so good we had to brew it again. And actually in 2019 it made up 40% of our total production.
So Shake It Off is our collaboration brew with Brew Republic. It's a 6.5% milkshake IPA. When Jared asked us to make this type of beer, we were excited. We wanted to load it up with oats, lactose, vanilla, and we decided between us to use Sabro, which is quite a new and exciting hop. Gives off a lot of coconut flavours, quite tropical, and I think the blend works really nicely in this beer. And yeah, it's exclusively available at Brew Republic.
Thank you for watching.